Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga. Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on. The Guardians of the Galaxy, I think is what it's called, right? So, Guardians of the Galaxy is the 10th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the first one that takes place entirely off-planet, is what I'm trying to say. Well, mostly entirely off-planet. I guess the very beginning of the movie takes place on Earth, but nothing else does. Moving on. It stars everybody's favorite teddy bear, Chris Pratt, as the lead role, as Peter Quill, Star-Lord, and he's basically a space pirate. Like Han Solo, I guess, but he's more of a smuggler than a pirate. You know, moving on. The movie basically starts with him finding a little orb, and he's got the orb, and people chase him, and he's like, oh man, I got an orb, but people want the orb, so what do I do? And then he gets arrested. But not just him, a green woman who's the daughter of Thanos, a green man who is already in prison, so never mind, a tree boy, and a raccoon boy. They all get arrested and they get thrown into the same prison called the Kiln, and that's where things really get started. You find out that the green woman, also known as Gamora, was sent after Quill to retrieve the orb and bring it to Thanos. But she doesn't want to do that because she's got a buyer who's willing to pay 4 billion units. I don't know what the exchange rate on that is, but 4 billion units sounds like a lot. So much so that it makes Peter Quill freak out a little bit. Oh, but it ain't all sunshine and rainbows, because even though they do escape the prison, Ronan the Accuser is after them and he wants that orb. Then he gets it. Then he finds out that there's an Infinity Stone in it. Not just any Infinity Stone, but the Power Stone, and he slaps it in his hammer, and now he's really strong. And all he has to do is touch his hammer to the surface of Xandar, and it'll get wiped out. Why does he want to destroy Xandar? Because apparently they did something bad to the Kree, of which Ronan, his name is Ronan, is one. So he's a Kree. The Kree were done an injustice, and he's upset about it. So of course he wants to get even. But the Guardians of the Galaxy, their friendship is too powerful, and they're not going to let that happen. So they dance. Well, no, Quill dances, and then he grabs a Power Stone, and then Ronan dies. Ronan's a very forgettable villain. It's honestly hard to remember that this movie has a villain. Then you find out that the reason Peter Quill was able to hold the Infinity Stone without dying is because he's half human, half something else, something ancient, something powerful, something celestial. Now, I like this movie. Right? I think it's fine. It's in my top 10 MCU movies because it's so fresh and unique. And it does a great job of bridging the audience into space so that when we get to Infinity War, we won't be as confused as we would have been otherwise. But the movie itself isn't very strong. It's got great direction from James Gunn. Bring him back. No, actually, don't do that. You know how I feel about him. Chris Pratt does a great job. Zoe Saldana does a great job. Dave Bautista. Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, everybody does a great job. Even Josh Brolin, not so much Lee Pace because they didn't really let him shine. I don't really know what he would have been able to bring to the table if he'd been more of the focus of the story. But we'll never know, I guess, because we're moving on from him. The music is great in this movie. The framing is good. The pacing is a little sloppy in the second half, but overall I think it's great. The CGI is mostly good. Michael Rooker, he steals the show in every scene he's in. And Benicio del Toro was a great quirky little collector type of guy, and that's cool. Because whenever he's in a new movie, he's got to have some sort of quirk. Whatever. Overall, it's the heroes and their actors' performances that really push this movie along. The villain's very weak. Thanos doesn't really do a whole lot except for say, I will bathe the starways in your blood. And that's a cool line and everything, but it's not enough, really. But I guess since this movie exists and it's in the MCU, I had to review it. It's not really something that I was looking forward to. Not that I don't like it, it's just not as good as the one that came before. But it's better than the one that came after, so we'll see what happens. This movie's a good time with your friends. This movie's a good time watching it alone. This movie's just a good time, and I will say it was worth the price of admission in 2014. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, so what did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and educate me. And as always, if you want more videos from me, then you know what to do, you know where to click, and you know what I want you to say. Well, you know what I'm about to do is what I should have said.